Hello and welcome to this one-shot adventure, the Silver Tower. Thank you, Sam, for letting me take over your channel for a little bit today. So we're just jump right in with a description of our adventure today. Legends are told of the staff of Silnia Silvertongue, which can be used to command dragons and bend them to the will of the wielder. Such a relic could grant wealth and power beyond measure to whomever holds it. Your group of adventurers have been hired by the Watchful Order of Magisters and Protectors, who have recently discovered the location of the staff, the ruins of an ancient wizard's tower in the heart of the Neverwinter Woods. They are willing to pay a sum of 200 gold pieces for safe recovery of the staff, and are willing to allow you to keep anything else you discover on your quest. So we are starting off kind of as you are walking through the Neverwinter Woods. You're walking single file in the narrow space between the trees. Um, this area of the Neverwinter Woods is ancient. The trees here are, thousands of years old. They are huge, they are thick, and they're 50 feet tall. They have like these knotted, gnarled trunks, and you're kind of walking in a single file because the space in between the trees is pretty narrow. Um, so at this point, I would like everybody to please go ahead and introduce yourself, introduce your character, and let me know, kind of what you're doing as you're walking, maybe what your marching order is, all that good stuff.
I can go first. The character I'm playing today is Benjamald, aka Benji for short. He is a turtle hunter ranger. Benji is the sort of like type of turtle he is like a snapping turtle. So very kind of like weathered, like dark greenish brown skin, very sort of like spiky and jagged exterior, which also matches his interior. He's a very kind of cantankerous old man who, ever since his wife passed a few years ago, has taken his sort of like tailor shop business on the road and sort of picked up some ranger skills to defend himself from the hooligans and whippersnappers who think that an old man is an easy target. Um, I think, sort of because of that, as far as marching order goes, he would probably be sticking toward the back, maybe even like a little distance away from the rest of the party. The forest is his favored terrain, so he, has no worry about getting lost and is sort of like keeping an eye out and has his bow at the ready to kind of defend from long range if necessary.
Awesome. That is Benji.
Benji is definitely muttering to himself, like, huh, announcing our presence from miles around. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Even though secretly he's digging the bag, he's jamming to the bagpipes. absolutely a, like, not so secret competition of, like, which one of them is the older old man.
I love that.
Even though I think turtles only live to be, like, 40. So
Oh, no.
he's
That's kinda
he's
wei I would imagine that they would live, because just regular turtles
right?
live longer than
But
humans a
but
lot of
no,
the time.
which I think is so fucking funny. So he's, like, 35, but it's like, "I've been around longer than you could imagine, buddy."
Whippersnappers, yeah. Yeah, I think, this part of the forest isn't highly inhabited, so, like, some of the animals are, like, staying the fuck away from, like, they just do not know what this sound is, but some of the, like, slightly more intelligent creatures are a little bit curious. You see, like, some, like, small mammals, like, peeking out from, like, behind tree trunks and looking down from the branches, trying to figure out what's going on. There's, like, one little ferret that's, like, bouncing alongside you because it's, like, very curious about what's going on. Um, awesome. And so we've got Tifa and Kashara who would like to go next.
I can go. So Tifa is a tiny little forest gnome. In her early adulthood of probably around 250 years. She's just kind of skipping along to the bagpipes. She's trying to stay single file, but she's a forest gnome. The trees are her home, and she's just interested in everything. She probably has speak with animals up, and she's probably like running around talking to each and every one that she can actually like get close to and interact with. She's absolutely filthy. She looks like she just crawled out of a swamp. There's mud all over her face. Her hair is just like knotted. It hasn't ever been brushed, probably. She tends to just like cut out the knots when they get too annoying. Um, she's also got a cloud of insects, biting insects primarily, that just are always around her as a swarm. A bunch of mosquitoes, a bunch of black flies, creepy crawly insects that are just kind of flittering around. And if anybody gets too close, I'm sure that they'd get little bites. Yeah, and she's occasionally having conversations with this little buzzing swarm.
I love that. You have like some of like the forest animals that are like kind of like interested in this swarm of insects that you have around you that are like trying to sweep in and catch a meal.
Yeah, they'll be like burrowing in there in the forest animal's fur, and you can see them get a little itchy and a little bit annoyed. And Tifa's just like, "Oh, just you have plenty to share."
And Kashara. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
saying that correctly.
yeah. So I'm playing Kashara, who is a water genasi wizard. Um, she studied, she's recently graduated from her graduate program, and she studied in the School of Enchantment. Um, Her focus specifically was cursed items or charmed items. And so she is tagged along because she has heard that they can take anything that they find. And so she is very eager to add to her collection because she has recently opened a shop of cursed items and very excited to add to her own collection. That is quite all right. I am very happy in my own school of wizardry, but I do enjoy the music. That is true.
Awesome. So you all are making your way through this forest. You've got this lovely bagpipe music to accompany you. You got some little critters following along, stopping over, hopping up on Tifa's shoulder for a little conversation, and then hopping back off. Um, and it's like late afternoon. Um, And you do have a general sense of the tower that you're looking for is somewhere in the heart of this forest, but there's not really any kind of direct path to it. So how are you all trying to pick your way through this forest to find the location of the tower?
Asking the critters.
Asking the critters. Okay. Let's speak with animals. I believe that that is like contingent upon the intelligence of the animal, right?
Yeah, so the knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they have perceived or in the past day, and I might be able to persuade them to do a small favor at the GM's discretion.
Okay. So yeah, describe to me like how you're kind of grabbing an animal's attention. Which kind of animals are you looking for?
Probably the little like scurrying ones, like the like weasels and ferrets and things that are smaller than her, and she's just, I don't know, she's really chatty. She's all up in the gossip. She wants to know what each one of them's saying. So I imagine if there was one that was close, she'd be like, "Did you hear about so and so's thing?" And just continue on about that, like anything she's heard in the past little bit. But then once she gets to know them a bit, or if they stay with her, then she'd be like, um, "My adventuring party, we're looking for a tower. Do you have any idea? Have you seen anything like that around?"
Yeah, so this little like ferret that was bouncing along following the music, um, kind of approaches you and scampers up to your shoulder and like kind of wraps itself around your neck like a little scarf, and like nuzzles into your ear as you're talking. And through a series of little squeaks, and you also feel its like little tiny scratchy tongue on your earlobe. Um, it engages in the gossip and it, tells you something about how, oh yeah, you know, this other like little ferret over there is eating some gross stuff recently. I don't know. It's kind of I think it's gonna make him sick, blah blah, and just like sharing what's going on in their little ferret community. Um, and then it says, I don't know what a tower is, basically. It's confused by the word tower, but
Okay, go ahead.
um, it goes silver tree, big silver tree, this
Oh,
way.
oh, big silver tree. That sounds right. Which
Yeah,
way's the
and
way?
it kind of hops off onto the ground and scampers off in a direction, kind of leading you
So
towards the big silver tree that it has seen.
Tifa's just gonna hop back to the group. Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Hey everybody! That ferret told us that there's a big silver tree. I think it might be thinking of the tower that we're looking for. Um, I kind of think that we should follow it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Benji grumbles, saying, "Ferrets, sensible creatures. Good plan."
I have no objection.
All right. So this little ferret's bouncing along, dashing between the trees, and it kind of has to stop every few feet to kind of let you catch up and make sure you're still following it. Like stands up on its little hind legs and turns to you. Um, and after a little bit longer of walking, less than an hour, at long last, you catch the glint of something bright shining through the trees. It kind of snaps you out of this daze that you've fallen into as you're hiking. And as you look closer, you see a little path emerge between the trees. And as you follow this path, it opens up into a clearing. The clearing rises up into a low hill that's covered in lush green grass and wildflowers bright enough to be seen clearly through the gaps in the trees. And on top of the hill, at the very peak of it, you see the ruins of the Silvyr Tower shining brightly in the glow of the setting sun. As the sun is setting behind you, the light is reflecting back off of this tower, almost like painfully bright. You have to kind of squint your eyes to look at this edifice, as it has like a very smooth, mirror-like surface to it. And you guys should have a little image pop up. Tell me if that worked. Okay. So these will be popping up throughout, and you can just, X out of them whenever you're done looking, just for a little flavor. But yeah, so you have reached the tower grounds. It's almost sunset. So would you like to go ahead and explore this tower right away? Would you like to set up camp for the night and step forth in the morning? What are we doing as we enter this clearing?
I just make a perception check as we approach, just to see if there's like anyone else hanging around or signs that people have been here recently.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for me.
That's a 16.
On a 16, you really just notice like signs of like the animal life that lives around this forest. You don't really catch sight of anything else out of the ordinary at the moment.
I'll grunt and says, yeah, not good for my arthritis to be sleeping outdoors these days, and we'll follow behind.
Okay. You knock, and the door kind of rattles a little bit. It's old, this tower is kind of in ruins. But there is no response. And yeah, and you guys should see like little door icons throughout the map. You can try right-clicking on them if you want to try to open doors. If it doesn't work, it means that the door is locked.
I think the honor is all yours.
I was muted. Are there any windows on the side? Real quick.
Yeah, so it doesn't have any windows, but you can see that like this let's call it the east side over here on the right. This side is like kind of in worse shape than the rest of the walls. You can see like the top part of this building is totally gone. So it doesn't have a roof over it or anything. But the walls over here on the left side are about 20 feet high. But on the right side, where it's kind of in more ruins, they're about 15 feet high. And even at the lowest points, only 10 feet high. None of the upper floors are intact. But no windows.
Yep.
That door is locked. If you try, kind of like jiggle it a little bit and it does not budge.
I turn to the two younger folks in our party and I say, "You whippersnappers, you're young, bust it down."
Kashara's just gonna look down at her very skinny, no muscle self, and then at the door.
I absolutely love that Benji is actually significantly younger than Kashara.
You there, 200-year-old youngster. Respect your elders. Guess they didn't teach door breaking at that fancy college.
Tifa flexes her muscles. On a scale of 1 to 20, I'm about a 6. She's gonna just kind of start scrambling over the rocks, though, if I can, the things that are kind of over here, to try to see if I can get on top of a wall.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a athletics check.
Actually, 1 second.
While this is happening, does the door seem are there any gaps at the bottom or the sides or anything?
It's kind of splintered in some spots.
Okay.
None of the gaps are really big enough for you to really be able to look through them, but it's in not great condition. This is
Could
old.
a snake get through?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of climbing, I'm just going to cast jump on myself, and I'm just going to jump up.
Okay.
So
How high can you jump?
My jumping distance is tripled. I don't know what my jumping distance would be, though. Does anybody know off? I don't know how it works in D&D.
That's one of those things you need a calculator. There's a website that will just tell you.
Yeah, let me. Okay. Long jump to cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you have a running start, but you're not really trying to jump over something, you're just trying to jump straight up, right?
Yeah, I'm just hopping.
Yeah. So a high jump. When you make a high jump, you leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. When you make a standing high jump, you can only jump half that distance. Either way, each foot you clear on the jump costs a foot of movement. So basically you can back up as far as your movement speed would go if we were in combat, and get that running start and jump straight up 3 plus strength.
Okay, so that's 1 because my strength is 2.
Let me see.
Gosh.
Okay. So
It should have looked this up
you
before I
see
took it.
some wall. You're like, and you're like, oh hey, there's a crack in this wall up here that I didn't see before.
She just keeps kind of hopping up and down. I can't quite get there, but can she reach that crack?
Yeah, so you can extend your arms to half your height above yourself, and if you want to try to grab onto it, you're trying to grab onto it like a climbing hold.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you, and you said you got a 1?
Well, my strength is -2, so 3 plus that would be 1, and then
Okay.
jump triples my distance, so that gives me a solid 3-foot jump.
Okay. Yes. So
Can I
Okay.
climb onto your shoulder? So she just kind of scrambles up onto the back, and then she's gonna try to jump from there.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you maybe an acrobatics to like climb on Phoebus and like try to hop up. Are you trying to like grab the edge or anything as you hop up?
Yeah. Just kind of like scrambling, I guess, mostly.
Yeah. Let's do acrobatics for that.
6.
So yeah, you climb on Phoebus, you jump up, you try to get your fingers into like some of the cracks and some of the, fallen areas, jagged areas of this crumbling wall, but you did not realize that what you were trying to hang on to was kind of loose and it breaks off as you grab onto it, and you just kind of slide back down. You're not taking any damage, but it's a little embarrassing if you're somebody who feels embarrassed, which I don't think Tifa would feel embarrassed, but you can tell me.
Well, she'll slide back down and then she'll just kind of like fall on her butt and she's just like, ow. Well, that was my idea.
All right.
I have a +3 to sleight of hand. You see, I like the great creaking as I like get down on one knee to go and like squint my cataract riddled eyes and will attempt to pick this lock.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's a 10.
Okay. On your 10, you kind of miss the spot where you're supposed to stick one of the tools. So like as you're like trying to click through it, it doesn't quite budge. But it doesn't sound like anything has broken inside of there, so you're free to try again if you would like. Yeah, you guys have been having great rolls.
I think maybe like turn to the party and like gesture at the lockpick with one hand if anyone else wants to try, but I will also brandish my claws with the other to basically say like, y'all's choice. We can either try again or I'll start trying to beat it down. This is the whole one shot. Can we get paid 200 gold just for opening the door?
And while you guys are, while Benji is trying to decide if you're going to try again or if y'all are going to try to break it down, what's everybody's passive perception?
Oh, God.
Very low. 10.
10 for... Sorry, it's hard for me to know voices.
Oh,
Is that Kashara?
Kashara. Yeah.
Okay.
12 for Tifa.
It's 15 for Benji, and also just so you know, I have blind fighting, which gives me blind sight within a range of 10 feet, which basically means that I can see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if I'm blinded or in darkness, and it also includes invisible creatures unless they successfully hide from me.
Okay, gotcha.
Just
that is good to know. Yeah. And that's Benji, right?
Yeah.
So Benji, you're standing closest to the door. You were messing with these lockpicks. You hear like just like very slight like scuttering, like little tippy taps.
Like on the other side of the door?
Yes, coming from inside.
Honestly, I think I just start banging on the door. I'm just like, yo, in there, let us in.
You continue to hear the tippy tappies, but nobody's coming to open this door for you. Do you want to go ahead and give me a strength check to see if your banging breaks the door down, or an athletics, please?
Sure, let's see. All right, I only have a +1. That's an 8.
I love it. You get some.
Does anyone want to give me the help
you get
action?
some
Maybe.
splinters. Yeah, you get some splinters that like fly off of the door, but it's not coming down.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna say, yeah, for stuff like this, where it's like you can have multiple attempts, you can either each have a go at it, or yeah, you can give somebody advantage.
All right, here I go again. Girding my shell. Okay, that time it was an 11.
You start to see some of like the wood like chip off, and like you break a hole big enough for maybe like a hand to pass through, or a
A
snake.
snake? Kashara will, I think, step up and will call out her familiar, which is technically a snake, although I kind of flavor it as like a snake made out of water. And we'll be like,
love
okay,
that. That's awesome.
if no one has any objections, can I? And we'll like hold my hand towards the little opening to let my snake slide through.
I will remove my splintered hand from the opening to make room for your snake.
Okay, I'll let my snake head in.
Okay. Yeah, so your little water snake slithers through this opening. Are you giving it any direction for what you want it to do once it's through?
I think the main thing is I would be telling it to try and open the door. Like
Okay.
if it can like figure out a way.
Yeah, absolutely. So it what is the I guess I would have to pull up your stat block to know like what is the intelligence, right? Like is
Oh,
it
what was
something that would like know how to unlock a door? I mean it's not a animal, right? It's like a magical creature in the shape of an animal. Yeah, so I think that you've kind of like trained this snake enough to where it like nudges at like the doorknob a little bit at first, and nothing happens. It kind of turns itself over and wraps its tail around it to try to get a little bit more force, and like tries to push it down, and it doesn't work. And then eventually it notices like a little latch, and it nudges the latch with its little snout, and you hear like a click. And it tries again with its tail to turn the knob, and this time the knob is turned, and the door like just like swings open like just a tad, just enough that your snake can slither back out and rejoin you.
Wow, good job, Snake.
What's your snake's name?
Oh my god, I had a name for it and I forgot.
Wow, the tables have turned. The DM is asking one of the players for a name that you don't have.
I'm so embarrassed. I'll go with Jasmine. It's supposed to be like a tea water snake, so I was like, the first tea I can think of.
That's so pretty. I love that. Beautiful. Yeah, Jasmine slithers back up to you and like coils themselves around your arm, looking very proud of themselves.
Like,
Benji's gonna take a berry out of a little pouch that he keeps on it and try to offer it to the snake as a treat for a job well done.
I think Jasmine will eat the berry, but because she's made of water, it just floats.
I love that.
All right, so this door is unlocked. And again, Benji, you heard a little bit of the scuttering. Have you said anything to your party about it, or you were just to yourself.
Yeah, I think I would definitely. I don't know. Benji's definitely the type who just like talks to himself out loud more so than to other
Okay.
people, and would probably just been like, "Now, who is that scrambling around in there like some kind of suspicious creature?" But I'll take a step in through the door.
Okay. Are you looking around at all before you step in, or you're going for it?
Hate that question. I will step in. Yeah, I'll step in cautiously, like sort of trying to be aware of my surroundings, let my eyes adjust to the dark.
Okay. That is true. It is starting to get a little bit dark. I don't know how to make dim light in this thing. I can do day and night, but there's no like in between. So I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, so as you step in, you kind of notice that like there's some like sticky stuff on the floor. You like it doesn't really like make a sound, but like when you step and you try to like take another step, like you notice that you have to kind of like pry your foot off of this stone. As you look around, you can see that the interior of this tower is like covered in like this silky, sticky spider webs. And you are now on difficult terrain, so
Ooh.
your movement speed is reduced by half. Hear another scutter coming from beyond where you're standing.
I'll call sort of behind my shoulder. I'm just like, it's spiders.
Spiders. I'm just gonna scramble over the turtle if I can. And then into the room. Hello, she says. She can speak with small animals just as part of being a gnome. Hello.
Yeah, as you step in, and the spiders have like this web sense to where they can tell that you've stepped onto its webs. And one spider is going to crawl out of this room on the right, and another one is going to like climb up over this like broken wall and just like sit up top. Neat trick. You can how do I do this? Ah, damn, I forget. Oh yeah, so if you select your character and you hold down shift and you click your mouse wheel, you can rotate
Whoa.
that you're facing. So yeah, this spider comes out, is staring at you. This other spider climbs over the wall, and they're like, really the only reason why they're not immediately attacking you is because one of you is able to speak to it.
Hi.
And so it like kind of like approaches like, and it hisses at you a little bit.
Don't be mean.
My house. My house.
We're just passing through.
Benji has pulled out a rolled up newspaper.
The spider that's on the wall sees you do this and also hisses at you and goes, enemy. And the only one who can understand this is Tifa, obviously. The rest of you just hear like spider like hissing and clicking.
Oh,
For a second, I really thought you were about to say the spider also pulls out a rolled up newspaper.
That would
could
be
do.
hilarious.
No, he's fine. He's fine. We're just looking for a stick.
Sticks in the forest. My home. My home.
Oh,
Out.
stick. Up top or down low. I don't know. It's a special stick. Please. Please.
Give me a persuasion check on this spider. And let me pull up the spider's stat block.
The spider's name.
Asgorth. I was trying to remember the name of the spider from Harry Potter, and I know that's not it, but that's what came to my brain.
I got a 17 on persuasion.
Okay, and again, I am very new to DMing, so would that be the spider would have to do a wisdom against that? Is that correct? How does that work? Help, Sam. DC, yeah. Yeah, insight makes sense. Okay, tell me what you rolled. One more
17.
time. A 17. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
-1. Yeah, I mean, the spider stands down. Which one are you talking to? The one directly in front of you, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah. It stands down. It goes, no food for humanoids. Spider food. Like, it does not want you to steal its food.
Okay. Well, there's like a bunch of mosquitoes flying around me that I'm sure are getting caught in its web. So
yeah. With that, the spider is gonna like join its buddy up on this wall, and start like snacking on your bugs that are getting caught in the web, and they both start doing this. And upon hearing this, 2 more spiders are going to come out of this other room, and they're kind of gonna look at you. They're gonna go,
hi.
And they're gonna look up at their friends on the wall who are just eating, and they're gonna look a little confused.
We're having a charcuterie board.
Spider home. You out, spider home only.
Oh, be careful.
And I'm gonna say that these creatures are not super like community driven. What the fuck did I just do? They're not really community driven, so they don't really care that like these other 2 have been subdued already. But I am gonna let you roll another persuasion with advantage, because they do see like that the other 2 are unbothered. They're not immediately convinced, but they're more likely to be convinced.
10 that time. Excuse me. 10.
Hey, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so the spider that's closest to you like notices like your little bugs and sees that its other spiders are like snacking on bugs, and it's like, snack. And it's actually gonna like climb up towards you and like nudge your toe a little bit and scamper up your leg and get up like on top of your head and try to snatch some bugs.
To her, this is a new friend.
Meanwhile,
It's using you as a prop.
Fine.
Benji is holding up the newspaper like, just say the word.
The other spider is not quite convinced yet. It goes, spider home. You gonna put it on top of Tifa's head or on the wall? Yeah, so the spider gets moved up on top of this wall, and it's like disoriented. It doesn't understand how it just flew. It scampers around a little bit. Um, and this other one like turns to it and goes, my food, get your own. And it's going to jump down and try to get some of these bugs that are down here. So these spiders, they're eating. They are subdued enough that they're like, all right, I guess it's fine. The other one, the first one that you spoke to, like just like reminds you like spider food only. Spider food only.
Okay, everyone, I think that we're safe. The spiders are going to let us into their home, but make sure to be very respectful, okay? Don't touch anything that might be considered food.
I absolutely love this. The last time that I ran this, like the spiders all got squashed. And
Right.
Benji begrudgingly agrees, but gives all the spiders the like "I'm watching you" gesture.
the one that was like not super convinced just like lifts up its like little front legs at you menacingly, but goes back to eating. So, you all are walking around this tower. It is it's in pretty bad shape. This room on your right that you have entered has like a very nice looking like desk and bookshelves and an array of like old like jars and vials containing like random like spell components, random colorful liquids. Some of them have turned to dust. All of it, anything that used to be like fleshy or plant life is like very long since rotted. But it looks to be some sort of like alchemy lab.
I think Kishara is going to be looking for anything magical.
Yeah,
Or
go
interesting.
ahead and give me an investigation
Okay.
check.
Ooh, that was a nat one for a 6.
Yeah, you can tell that like a lot of these things could be used to make a magical item, but you don't really find like something that is like, oh, this is a magical item.
Can I give her the help action?
Yeah, go ahead. So go ahead and do another roll.
I'm just like holding up every bottle or like testing by finding going, is this something?
Yeah.
Is this something? Is this magic?
Well, that
Yeah,
time it
go
was a 23. So.
All right.
Nice.
So on a 23, as like Benji is like, no, you missed this one. Look at this one over here. Okay, there's another one. You find a vial that contains like this shimmery red liquid that you recognize as a potion of healing. Add that
I
to
will
your inventory.
show that to everyone and then tuck it away.
All right. And again, I'm not doing inventory in Foundry, so just y'all keep track of it. Okay. What are the rest of you doing? All right. So you walk through. Yeah. So some of there's like doors separating these rooms, but these doors on the inside are not as sturdy as the door that was the entrance to the tower, so they have like rotted away, and a lot of them have just broken off at this point, so you can very easily just like step over the planks of wood. You don't have to open these doors. This room to the north is full of bookshelves. There's like a little reading nook over in not the corner because it's a circle and circles don't have corners. But it's just basically filled with like shelves, broken shelves lined with old books. Some of them are scattered about, some of them are torn up, some of them are again turning to dust, but there's a whole lot of books. Okay. Give me a perception. Yeah. I guess with advantage because you already kind of see it. You just can't. Nice. So yeah, you see a hairy appendage of a creature that looks suspiciously like the tiny creatures that you encountered at the entrance, but it's a lot bigger. And you see, like, you notice, like, by the movement of, like, its breathing that it seems to be asleep. Um,
Yeah, let's not wake it up from its nap.
I slowly press my rolled up newspaper into your hand, and I say, "You know what to do." I pull out a second rolled up newspaper to bonk you over the
So if you all want to attempt to search this other room without waking up the spider, you will have to give me a stealth roll. Otherwise, it's gonna keep.
I'll do the same since I have pretty good stealth.
Same.
I think Kashara's gonna be like, I'm good here. Let me know if you need help.
I have a plus. Yeah, I have a +5 to stealth, but I only rolled a 6, so that's an 11.
All right.
24
24 for Tifa?
Mhm.
Okay. And on the spiders. Perception. So I went ahead and rolled a perception for the spider with disadvantage because it is sleeping. But it got a 9. And because 2 out of 3 of you did not pass this, the spider is going to wake up. And at first it's gonna like flatten itself against the ground a little bit and stretch its legs out, and then it's gonna, curl back up and it's gonna turn towards you and immediately just like go. And as it does, like it lifts its giant spider fangs, and it I love the newspaper. I love Golden Girls. Sorry, that was distracting. So like as it like raises its giant fangs, the fangs are like glistening and dripping with venom, and as it hisses and the air comes out of its mouth, like some of this like gross spider venom saliva like splatters off towards you. And I want anybody who is inside this room right now to roll initiative. And unless y'all are telling Kashara, or unless Kashara is like actively like looking to see what y'all are doing, Kashara can roll. I mean, you're pretty close, actually.
I
Let's say
feel like
let's have everybody roll initiative. You're close enough that you know something's going on. And let me see if I can figure out how to use this counter on. Yeah, so I'm gonna have y'all just roll initiative on Foundry so that we can maybe use. So I've added you to the encounter. If you go to like the little cross swords tab and find your name, you can click on the die and it will roll for you. All right. This music is a little bit too pleasant. All right. So up first on the initiative is Benji. So you woke up the spider. You tried real hard not to, but you failed. And it is upset. It doesn't know why its little tiny minion spiders let you in. They should have tried to stop you. It is not happy.
All right. I am going to. I look for a second between my little newspaper and this giant spider, and I'm going to put it away and start dual wielding my dagger and sickle. And I'm going to take a swipe at this thing first with my dagger. 15 plus 5. That's a 21 to hit.
Yep.
And that's 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And then we'll use my bonus action to attack with my sickle. That's 15 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Nice. Sorry, that's another 4. Another 3 points of damage.
Okay, so 7 total.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you like slice like at one of its legs, and there's like gross like purple blood coming out of it. As the spider takes 7 points of damage, and now I have to learn how to do math. How does this work? No, I don't. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Hold on.
I'm like, no, I made it faster.
None of these buttons are doing what I want them to do, so I do actually have to do math. Okay, we good. It's not changing the bar for some reason. There we go. Okay. Up next is Kashara, if Benji's turn is done.
Yeah, I'm just going to scoot a little bit closer since we're in close quarters here.
Okay.
Okay, I think Kashara's gonna move so she can see what's happening. And she will cast Ray of Frost, this giant spider.
All right.
Okay. That's
save.
a 22 to hit.
Okay, ranged attack. Yeah, 22 is gonna hit.
Okay. That is 1 point of damage.
Right.
But its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Yeah, so you cast this like magical ice and it like hits on one of the spider's like front legs and kind of like freezes it to the ground. And it takes that. Jess?
Oh, sorry. Tifa is just going to move over a little bit. Oh, shoot. I'm in the wall. I'm trying to go here. There we go. And she's going to cast Minor Illusion and make a 5-foot high roll of newspaper and just be like, down, down! And kind of try to threaten the spider into cowering. I don't know how you want to run the save. There's no like official rules in Minor Illusion other than if it wants to like investigate, it can do intelligence check against my spell save to determine if it's real or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very smart. So it sees this like giant whatever it is. Why don't you go ahead and roll me intimidation for that?
15.
Yes.
Maybe just try to like frighten it or something. I don't know how that would work, but I mostly just wanted to do it for flavor, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on a 15, like the spider is like very wary of it, and it's like kind of like keeping an eye on this, and it's probably not gonna go like towards you. But it does still want to defend itself against this old turtle over here that's like slashing at it. So is that your turn, Jess?
Yep.
Okay. So it is going to go ahead and turn to Benji, and it's going to try to fight you. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. So it's gonna like raise these fangs, and it's gonna lodge these fangs into like your thigh. And you take 1 point of piercing damage. And I also need you to give me a con save, DC 11.
That's a nat 1.
All right. So on a failed save, you take, I'm so sorry, you take 10 points of poison damage.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
this is elder abuse.
And yeah, no, go ahead.
Still looking all right though at 21.
Yeah. Okay. And that is the end of the spider's turn. It's gonna back up. Actually, no, it's not, because you get an opportunity attack. It's gonna stay put. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Thebus. Sleep. I think it is like an area, right? I mean, if you choose a point that's like, I guess, on the edge so that it only gets you and the spider, I feel like you might be able to do that, right? Like if you want to center it far enough away. True. You choose. Yeah, okay. At the point you choose, not the creature you choose. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so the creature would stay unconscious until the spell ends, until it takes damage, or if somebody uses an action to like wake them up. So if you do accidentally put one of your friends to sleep, you can wake them up without waking up the spider. Everybody's gonna take a nap. Okay. It sure does. 22. The spider is at 3 hit points. So you're putting everybody to sleep. Not everybody, but at least one more person probably.
God damn it. Let's see. I had 21 hit points. me with these fangs still in my arm. Like, no, don't go gentle into that. And then I fall asleep. I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah, you kind of like, so you fall asleep against your will and are immediately woken up. And you
Also
look
against my
around.
will.
Yeah, and you see like this spider just like it was sleeping before, but now it's like snoring, if that's even possible for a spider. And like as it snores, like its exhale goes and it like dribbles out venom as it's snoring and it's just like pooling on the ground. So back to the top of the order, we're just gonna go ahead and end combat. The spider is unconscious. How do I? Oh, I never clicked begin. Ha ha ha. So, well, because I wasn't really using like the attack actions in Foundry, so it didn't matter. But yeah, you are out of combat. It is now like fully dark at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and our lighting situation here. That. Sam, are you able to remove the area effect that you put on? I can't do anything with it. That's really weird. Why can't I move it? Oh, you know what? I probably need to. Yeah. I got it. I know how to be a DM. It's fine. Yeah, so I think most of you have some degree of being able to see in the dark. Are you all going to try to investigate this room, investigate any of the other rooms in the tower?
Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to hang out with the spider anymore.
Sure. So are we all heading down?
Yep. Well, I'm in. Thank you.
Ooh.
Guess so.
I don't think I do.
I've got 60 feet.
Let me double check.
Yeah, so you all descend down this dark stone staircase, and as you're doing so, you're noticing that, the spider webs are really just on the ground floor. So as you start getting towards the bottom of the steps, your feet are kind of cleared of this terrain. And you enter into the basement of the tower, into a room where there is a brazier over here towards the bottom of the steps. It is lit. There is a fire going inside of it. You also see that there are 4 stand torches. Well, I guess you see whichever ones. You guys all have dark vision?
I do not.
So you can just see what is being lit by this brazier. Is the brazier light on for y'all?
Mhm.
Okay,
It's
so
on
let's
for me.
fix that. I didn't change anything. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you can see, I think, by the light of this brazier, like one of the stand torches side that's closest to it. But yeah, I'm not going to describe anything else until y'all figure out what you can see.
Well, Tifa's gonna just head into the room. Come on, everybody, let's go. I've got dark vision, so
Okay.
the idea that other people don't just doesn't even like enter her head.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tifa, as you're kind of like walking to the center of this room, and you know, it's the dim light is very clear to you, so you can see the 4 stand torches around the center of the room. These are unlit. And on one side, over here to the north, there is like a large ornate like mirror. And on the other side, directly opposite the mirror, there is a frame that is like identical to this mirror, but there is nothing inside of it. It's just stone wall that this frame has been like put against.
Weird. There's a mirror over here.
I wish I could see it.
What do you mean?
I can't see in the dark.
Oh. Oh, okay. And she just starts like rummaging through her bag and pulls out a little club with some like dried grass and stuff wrapped around it. Goes, here, I made this a while ago. I never use it though, and it's just a torch.
Oh, that is amazing. Kashara will gladly take a torch. It is driving her crazy that she cannot see anything.
What's the radius on a torch? It's bright for
20.
20.
And then dim for an additional 20.
Oh,
Now. Okay. So what would you all like to do?
I want to go stare into that mirror.
yeah, Kashara is definitely. Can I cast Detect Magic on this mirror?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll do it as a ritual, so it might take about 10 minutes.
I think it's 10 minutes, yeah. There's not any like roll for that, right? You just do it.
Yeah, I think so.
So on a detect magic, you can see that there is some, what's the range on that? 30 feet?
Let me double check. Yes, within 30 feet, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
So you see that The two torch stands that are on the south, like closer to the frame without. These two torches are radiating some conjuration magic, and they kind of are now encased in the. Want to describe like what your brand of like aura would look like around these torches?
Oh, mine?
Like, is it just like glowing? Is it like, because you're a water genasi, I'm like, ooh, maybe there's like a water effect around it or something.
Yeah, I think it would probably be like you know, like when you're in a lake and like filtered light through water. Kind of like
Yeah,
it kind of looks like that, I think.
that's pretty. I like that. Yeah, so you all see as these torches take on the aura of Kashara's detect magic spell. And Tifa, as you're looking into this mirror, give me a perception check.
14.
Yeah. You're looking into this mirror, and at first you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. You know, you can see the room behind you, you can see your companions moving about. But then you notice that when you turn around, there's something that doesn't quite match the reflection. When you look into the mirror, these two that are giving off this magic, their reflection shows that they are lit. But when you turn and look at them, they are unlit.
She just kind of like do this funny little hop, and she turns and looks at the other ones, and then she just hops and looks back at the mirror, and hops and looks back. Kashara, look! And then
Do I also see it in the mirror?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you just look in the mirror and Tifa's pointing this out to you, you'll be able to notice it. You also, as I missed one thing because you were within 30 feet of the mirror. The mirror is also encased in your detect magic aura, and it is giving off abjuration magic.
I will definitely let everyone know that.
What do you think it means?
Kashara's just silent because she's really embarrassed that she has no idea what it means.
I don't either.
Can't mean anything good, I'll tell you that.
Benji and Zara and are being confused by the mirror. Oh yeah, did that not come through? Oh, I was just saying what are Benji and Thebus doing as Kashara and Tifa are being confused by the mirror? Yeah, so you can reach out and like touch it, and again, it looks exactly like the mirror, but in the places where like that mirror plating would be, it just goes straight through to the wall that the frame is on, and the wall looks exactly the same as the other walls around this room.
Oh, maybe we gotta make them match the mirror. Well, look, they're lit over here and then not over there. Just I don't actually remember. It was just the two, right?
Yeah, just the two on the opposite side.
No, just those two.
I think
Kashara will go try and light one with the torch that Tifa gave her.
I'll use my like tinderbox to try and light this that I'm in front of.
Right. So you both light these two torches. And as you do so, and as in fact Kashara kind of gets a little bit closer to this other flame, it also picks up an aura of her detect magic. And it's also giving off the abjuration magic that the mirror was giving off. My dog is attacking now. Excuse me, ma'am. And you're gonna see like the stone brick pattern that's like inside of this frame start to kind of like fluctuate a little bit, almost as if like it was made of water, and it's gonna begin to swirl, and it slowly begins to like, oh my God, Willow. Let me turn my noise suppression on. It starts to like glow with like this eerie purple color, and the area that should be mirror is no longer a wall. It is now glowing with purple energy.
Okay. And
Can I throw one of my rolled up newspapers through it?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Ben
I
just
like that your character just has like an endless supply of newspaper.
every like town that he goes to selling his wares, he always picks up a newspaper to have with his coffee. And you never know it'll come in handy. And he's very much like, there's no way you're getting me to walk through any goddamn magical hell without testing it first. And he'll stay like still a little bit of the ways back. We're off to the side and just like chuck one through, see what happens.
Yeah, so you chuck this rolled up newspaper and it just disappears. You see like it's almost like going through like a thick fog. One end of it goes in and becomes invisible. Hear just like a very light thud.
Well, it didn't explode or anything, so that's good.
And then she jumps in.
Yeah. I'm convinced enough. I'll go.
All right. Going in. Let me do
The door once again.
I have to give you your torch again. I don't like that it doesn't carry over. I need to figure out how to. So you pass through this portal, and I can't not think of like another portal from Minecraft. So for whoever's familiar with that, as you like step into this portal, these like purple swirls are swirling around in front of you. You get like a little bit like makes you a little bit queasy as you're walking through, and you just feel like cold energy like wash over you as you're stepping through this portal. But it goes away as soon as you come out of the other side. And you walk into a slightly larger room than the one that you were just in. And from where you're standing, most of you can see that there are shelves and like tables and crates. This room is a lot like neater than the rooms in the ground floor of the tower. The books are in place. Nothing is like broken on the ground. Everything's got a like fine layer of dust on it. But it seems to be in much better shape. Um, yeah, so I'll go ahead and roll me investigation.
Ooh.
Yeah, it seems there's cracks in the floor and stuff, and apparently my stamping on Inkarnate wasn't very good because the lines aren't lining up, and I just noticed that. But yeah, it's weathered, but you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary.
Do I detect anything still with my detect magic?
You do.
Ooh.
Over here to the right of where you came in, there is a broom, and it is glowing.
Ooh.
Let me pull up. Tell me. It doesn't tell me what kind of what kind of magic it is, but it is a magic item.
Ooh. She's gonna start heading that way because she loves magic items.
Yeah.
There's something over here if you want to come check it out, Phoebus. I feel like as a fellow intellectual, you can help me figure out what's going on. She's gonna.
As you all, so sorry. You may continue, but before you do, I need everybody to give me a wisdom save.
Oh no. I don't like
Yeah,
this.
a wisdom check, not a wisdom save. Sorry.
Is it like against magic? I've got a thing against whiz saves against magic. Or should I just roll straight?
Yes, it is magic. A wisdom check.
Okay.
And if you have immunity to being charmed, you automatically pass.
It's a dirty 20 from Benji.
Dirty 20 for Tifa as well.
It's a 3 for Kashara.
Okay.
I am smart, but I am not wise.
Benji, tell me yours again.
Dirty 20.
Thebus, you said 11? And Kashara?
3.
3. Okay. So, Kashara and Thebus. The room around you kind of like it gets a little bit dimmer. Not like you can still see, but there's just like this weird, like faint, like dark aura around your vision. And you start to hear like, and I know this is the name of a spell, but this is the best way that I can describe it. This is not the spell that is being cast on you. But you start to hear these like dissonant whispers. Do any of you speak, either of you speak Undercommon?
I don't. Nope.
So you can't make out what the whispers are saying to you, but you feel like a message being broadcast to your mind. And it's kind of like you see it in like your mind's eye, you know, you're not having like a full hallucination, but it is like placing an image into your mind. And Thebes, what you see in this imaginary vision that has been put upon you is you're back at your college, and you are on a podium. There's a bright light shining directly into your face, and in front of you, you can see an auditorium full of people, stretches as far as the eye can see. You can't make out anybody's faces. There's just like humanoid figures in every single seat, and they have like these like little dots of like glowing red eyes just like staring directly at you. And there's a paper in front of you that says speech notes on it, and you unfold it, and it is blank. And you look down to realize that you are in fact wearing your undies. And you hear the audience begin to cackle and laugh and point at you. And who else was Kashara, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Kashara, you in your vision, you find yourself at the top of this tower that you're in, but this tower is fully built in your vision. It is not broken off at the top, and it is so high up. You can not see anything below you. You're above the clouds. All you see is mist below you. And little by little, the sides of this tower start crumbling away and making the space that you're standing on smaller and smaller and smaller. And then the vision ends.
Oh. She's just whispering, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real.
I'm gonna like gently hit both of them on the back of the head with my newspaper and be like, hey, didn't they teach you not to get hypnotized in college? As a way to like, Benji's way of trying to like bring them back into the present moment.
Right. What are the rest of you doing? As you, I guess you have noticed that your friends are going through something, even though you can't see what it is. What are we doing?
Tifa's gonna just be clambering all over Benji, I think. Benji's the one that's charmed, right?
Phoebus and Kashara are.
Probably just like poking them. I mean, like, what are you doing? Hey, stop. Snap out of it.
Yeah, and as these visions kind of end, you're not hypnotized, you're not charmed or anything, but you've got like this growing feeling of like dread inside of you when you're just like a little bit unsettled and like on edge.
Why do you look so nervous?
I agree.
I want everybody to go ahead and give me a perception check next. DC of, let's call it 15.
7.
23 for Benji.
4.
And Benji, you said you have, what is it, true sight?
Blind sight.
Blind sight. Okay. You can hear like just like some like the scraping of like something sharp against wood coming from this area and like the bottom right where all of these crates are piled.
Hate that. That sucks. I might just like move forward a little bit, and I can't even like see all the way to the back of the room, but I might just like fire an arrow off at one of the crates, like see if anything reacts.
Yeah, go for it. I don't, you don't need to roll for it or anything. You fire and like your arrow like thuds into the wood and kind of wobbles a little bit, makes that like woo 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 sound. And something like you hear like another box fall. You hear some clambering. And go ahead and give me another perception with advantage.
Go. Math is 13.
Okay. Yeah, you don't quite see anything, but you did hear like the reaction to something moving back there after you fired that arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which like if other people haven't noticed it, I'll like tell them, like describe what I heard. Maybe start like inching forward again and seeing like if anyone who has a torch wants to come up, but basically just warn folks that there's something.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a thing over in
Benji,
that corner.
can you give me another wisdom check, please? Just Benji is being targeted this time.
That's 17.
Ah. Ooh.
Like knocking on his own skull, like takes more than
Yeah.
that to get through this show.
Tifa something. Like a little eye thing.
What's up?
Oh, I was just saying that like Tifa can see something in the dim light or whatever. Am I supposed to be able to see that, or could my character see
that? So show me with your cursor what you're referring.
Down here.
Yeah, you see there is like a metal object over there on that side. Benji, or not Benji, sorry, Phoebus, you're still approaching, you're still under the influence of this spell that kind of pried into your mind. So it you're gonna get another kind of vision. And you're gonna hear another whisper, and it's like a little bit less dissonant and more like something's actually trying to talk to you, but you still don't understand the words that are being said. And it's going to show you an image of yourself and your companions leaving the tower. And as you approach, you are close enough now that you can see between the gaps of where these boxes are. There is like spiny, wrinkly, like flesh.
Ew.
And it is kind of cornered at this point, so it's gonna like clamber up on top of this box over here. And it's going to like growl at you, and it's going to show you that same image again of you and your companions leaving the tower.
This is horrifying. My
Trash.
paralysis demon.
Absolute trash.
This creature is the only creature you can see.
I think Benji's immediately going to draw his bow and aim it at him and just be like, back off, you big ugly bastard.
Um, it's gonna jump from this crate up and like clamber onto the top of this bookshelf, and like
Awful.
some books are gonna just like tumble onto the ground. And it's going to hiss and growl at you again, and it's going to attempt once more to tell you to leave by showing Thebes and Kashara the vision of you all exiting the tower. Yeah, while you're reading that, Kashara, your detect magic is still on, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So you start to notice as you kind of get closer to where this creature was hiding, the crates themselves are not like highlighted in your aura, but you can see like through the cracks and the gaps in the wood that there is light coming forth. Several of these crates, in fact, not just one. And you can tell that there are some magical items stored in these crates.
Ooh. I think Ashara is gonna, unless anyone else is gonna do anything, is gonna cast Hold Person on this creepy thingy.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I think it's a 13 Wisdom save. They have to roll.
Yeah, that's a nat 20
Oh,
on the
God.
aberration, so it is not held. This hold person, is this something that like it would be able to tell that you were trying to cast this at him, or is that more up to me to decide? Like,
I
it
think that's
doesn't
up to
say
you.
anything specifically.
It does have sound components, and I do have to like, it has VSM, so I'm assuming it's pretty obvious that I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, so this creature does not want to be trifled with. Also, Thebes, you are way too close to these boxes, and this other fucker just tried to cast a spell on it. So it's going to jump back down, and it's going to jump right here, kind of adjacent to Thebes. And it is going to try to claw at you to get you to get away from these boxes. And you are rolling initiative. So let me do the thing correctly this time, where I select all the tokens, add them to initiative, and then I actually start the combat after everybody rolls.
I don't know how I keep rolling so well. I have like a -1.
Now, this creature did try to claw you kind of like before initiative started. Like that's real, right? That's a thing I can do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make my attack on Phoebus first, and then we will start your turn at the top of the initiative. Okay. I'm guessing a 9 does not hit you. Yeah. So this creature has a multi-attack, so it like claws at you once with one hand and again with the other hand. And it just kind of like gets like the edge of like your beard. There's like a couple of like little hairs that like fray off, and like it lodges its claw into the box that's like next to you after it misses. Like pries its hand away and is like and it is your turn, Thebus. Okay.
Kashard cries, no. Mm.
Okay. That is a nat 20.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Half damage. All right. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage and have it. So half of one doesn't exist. Oh, half of 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, this creature takes 1 point of this damage from your thunder wave. Like it just like kind of like gets its head like knocked back a little bit. All of these crates that are around get pushed back, and they like slam against the wall, and like the wood on them like starts to like crumble. One of the smaller ones, just like the wood is completely shattered, and you can see like a metal object like covered in like the debris of this broken box. The other one goes flying towards like the pillar and shatters against the pillar. And you can again see some stuff in it, but it's kind of covered in this debris right now, so you can't really make out really what's inside of them. But you do see like that magical aura from Kashara's detect magic like get a little bit brighter as the wood is no longer fully encompassing these objects. Um, Aw. It does not like your bagpipe playing. It goes, All right, Kashara, you are up next. I don't know
Okay.
why there we go. Kashara's.
Kashara's gonna cast Ray of Frost at this guy.
Okay.
That's a 21 to hit.
Yep, you hit him.
Okay. And then that will be 5, I think it's just damage or 5 cold damage. 5 cold damage. I don't know if that makes a difference, but
Okay.
and then its speed is reduced by 10 feet again until the start of my next turn.
All right. Math is fun. I got it. Okay. 5 damage. And we are. Is that your turn?
Yep, that's my turn. I'm gonna stay right
Okay.
where I am.
So now it is the aberration's turn. And it is going to eat an opportunity attack to try to get away from Phoebus. And it's going to, and the movement speed is halved. So I can move. Yeah. Okay. It's going to move half of its movement here. Okay, yeah. As this creature is like scrambling backwards away from you, you try to slice at it with your dagger, but it just moves a little bit too quickly for you. And your dagger does not meet its mark. I have to say I am excited about today's session because the one that I ran yesterday with my friends, like everybody just rolled insanely well the whole time and I didn't really get to do anything. So this is more fun for me right now. All right, so that is its movement. For its action, it is going to cast a spell. And so it is going to like reach its like knobbly claws down into like the dust and the broken pieces of like stone tile that are on this floor. It's just going to pick up like 2 handfuls of like dusty rock. And it is going to blow one in the direction of Kashara, and it's going to blow the other one in the direction of Benji. And in doing so, it is calling the dead, and it summons 2 ash zombies. That kind of materialize from this like cloud of dust that it has created. And that is going to end its turn, and we're going to add the zombies to initiative. All right, Tifa, it is your turn.
Okay. So, oh shoot. I had a plan and then you did that, and now I'm like, oh no. Should I have a different plan? Okay. I'm gonna kind of. She saw the stones or whatever he threw go down, or it threw go down, but she can't quite see where the other one landed. So she's coming over here, and it's like, oh my god. And then she's going to raise her hand up and then bring it back down and cast Fairy Fire. Yeah, I can do that. Cast Fairy Fire. So each creature in the area, a 20-foot cube, I think that gets everything. Wait, 1, 2. Yeah, so that should get all the baddies.
Yeah.
Each creature in a 20-foot cube must save a dex save, DC 12, or be illuminated. And if it's illuminated, then we all have advantage on it for attacks.
All right. Not the zombie 1, zombie 2. I lost my die. You said Dex, right?
Yep.
Okay. What was the DC?
Oh.
12. Okay. Yeah, the zombies fail. And the aberration also fails.
So they're all illuminated by like a purple
Hello.
glow. And all attack rolls against them will have advantage.
Okay. Let me. Maybe I'll use. While I'm figuring this out, Benji, it will be your turn.
Cool. I am going to bonus action cast Hunter's Mark on the creature, which sort of looks like they're just like sharpest, like the type of like ICU look that only a shopkeeper who has dealt with many grubby-handed hooligans and then I'm going to draw my longbow and attack. That's a 21 to hit.
That hits him.
And that's a D8 plus a D6 from Hunter's Mark. That's 10 points of damage.
Sorry, who are you targeting again?
The
aberration.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, your arrow meets.
And I think I will stay put because I don't want to incur the wrath of the zombie next to me. So that's it for.
All right. So up next, it is going to Ash Zombie's turn, who is at the bottom here. And it is going to attempt to yeah, it's just gonna slam fist into Benji. Uh, 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
One point of bludgeoning damage. So yeah, it's like lumbering, it doesn't have really a lot of muscles. So it like goes to punch you and it lands, but doesn't hit you too hard. Then it's going to stay where it is and end its turn. And the next Ash zombie is going to do the same thing and attempt to hit Kashara
Bring it.
for a 7.
Doesn't hit, which is incredible because my armor class is 9.
Almost. Yeah, it like totally like whiffs it. It kind of like stumbles a little bit as it's like thrown forward by the force of its hand, but it like does not, just goes fully past you.
She feels really good about herself, even though, that probably should have.
Yeah, you like, well, you kind of like, you dodged it. You saw it coming, you dodged it. So
Yeah,
you feel proud of
I know what I'm
yourself.
doing.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of the zombie's turn. So Thebes, is your turn.
Oh my gosh, she's fully crying.
Okay. It's an undead. Yeah. I think it's fine. And it fails. Ooh, that's cool. And it doesn't do any damage. Okay. That's very cool. I like that. Right. And do remember that these boxes are no longer in these spots though, because you shattered them with your thunder wave. So unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot left for you to hide behind unless you want to try to get behind like one of these pillars. Okay. Okay, Kashara.
Okay, Kashara is inspired, and she's gonna look this zombie in the eyes and use hypnotic gaze, which means that it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. My DC is 13, or be charmed until the end of my next turn.
These zombies are just gonna fully be charmed by the party.
We're charming.
Yeah, it fails.
Yay. Okay. His speed drops to 0 and is incapacitated and visibly dazed.
Yeah, so this zombie like kind of like turns, like cocks its head at you, like you know how like dogs do when they're confused. And like its eyeballs like get a little bit larger. One of them falls out and it's just like looking at you and like looking around and kind of like swaggering.
Kashara's just gonna move since I don't think it can take an opportunity attack since it's charmed, and just like step out of its way.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know the exact rules, but that makes sense.
Unless I'm wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's still like trying to figure out like why it doesn't want to hit you. Not sure, but it just knows that it doesn't, so it's just gonna stay put. And it is now the aberration's turn. And it is still focused on Thebes because Thebes is close to its treasures, and you must get away. So it's going to turn its like gigantic green eyeball towards you. And you're gonna see like its eyeball like start like glowing a little bit with this eerie greenish glow. And you must make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw. Mm-hmm. All right. So you feel this creature's like rotting gaze like seep into your being. And you feel like your skin like tighten a little bit as you take oh um excuse me for 1 second. Okay. You take 20 points of necrotic damage? No, sorry,
Oh my
16.
god.
16.
Damn.
Shit, I was like, there's no way that's correct. I told y'all I'm bad at math. It's 16. Um, and it's just gonna continue to move away from y'all. Oh yeah, it should say on your spell like what happens if you take damage, right?
Yeah, the DC is either 10 or half the damage. Yeah, so I think if you took 16 points of damage, so it's like it would either be 8, but that's lower than 10, so it's a I think so.
Yep, I'll go with that. Okay. All right. So this other zombie is still charmed by you. The aberration has done its damage and backed away a little bit, and that is going to end its turn. So Tifa, you are up next.
So Tifa had been hiding behind Kashara, so as soon as Kashara moves, she's like, ah! And she pulls out a little pebble and she whips it at the aberration. It's a magic stone. So, oh my god, I rolled a 1 and a 2.
No.
My god, we're so cursed.
I'm guessing my little pebble doesn't hit.
It does not.
Okay, well, then she's just gonna run and hide behind Kashara again. That's it.
All right. Yeah. So, you have a magic pebble. Is it like in a slingshot or something, or you're just literally throwing pebbles?
Literally throwing pebbles. I can't put it in a slingshot, but I can reach it with my arm.
Fantastic. Yeah. So this little magical pebble goes flying and it just like thunks off of this creature's like natural armor that it has, and it like turns his head and like looks at you like, really? Really? That's what you thought was gonna work?
He's late.
And Benji, it is now your turn.
Can I make like some type of check to try and see this thing is looking?
Are you cut out for a second to try to see what?
Like how hurt it looks?
I mean, I'll just tell you, it's pretty roughed up, but it's still got more than half of its hit points. So not great, but like it's still standing.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm gonna stick with Hunter's Mark and just make another attack with bow. That's a 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
That's 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And I don't love being next to this, but it's silly to try and move and take an opportunity attack, so I will just stay here and keep trying to sling arrows at this freak.
And it is being charmed currently by Thebus, so it's probably not going to attack you.
Ooh. Haha.
Do you have to use... You don't have to use an action to command it, right? Like, just like whenever the zombie gets to do anything, you get to tell it what to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so I'll say with the reaction that is also out. So if you would like to attempt to move, you can move.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm just gonna like duck behind the column over here to get some cover.
All right, so we are now on the zombie's turn closest to Thebes. So going to act normally, or is it going to? Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, this zombie is very confused. It like wanted to hit Benji as he was moving away, but for some reason it wants to go give its master a little hug or something. And it is now the next zombie's turn, and it is currently being charmed by Tifa, correct?
Akashara, but yes.
Or yeah, sorry,
Charmed.
Kashara. So what does that mean exactly? Can I still attack other people?
It says that it has dropped to 0 and the creature is incapacitated and visibly dazed. So I think he just has to stand there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can
Um,
I try to become unincapacitated?
At the end of my next turn, he will no longer be
Okay.
charmed.
Yeah, so it's just like still standing there, like staring at you and being like, wow, she's really pretty. I wonder if my hair looks like that. And like rubs its hand over its like bald head and like a piece of skin comes off. And we're back to the top of the order with Thebes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so on a 16, this ash zombie is no longer being charmed by you. And yeah, you can like step over the debris of the boxes. Yeah. All right. Kashara.
Okay. I am going to try and cast Ice Knife at the one-eyed guy. Big eye guy.
Okay. Yep.
So I will try that. And that is going to be an 18 to hit.
That'll hit him.
Okay. So that will be 8 points of damage, and then he has to make, him and the zombie next to him have to make what is it, a dexterity saving throw. Or they take 2d6 cold damage.
So flat, what was it? 10
Um,
for the cold damage?
the hit was 8 damage, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is looking very rough at this point. And it's going to an 18 on its dex save,
Okay.
and the zombie rolls a 2 on its dex save. What was the DC again?
13.
Yeah, so the zombie fails.
Okay. I will roll the damage for the cold. If I can figure out how to do that. Okay, there. Okay, it's 5 cold damage for the zombie.
And as this zombie like gets hit with this like frosty magic and takes some damage, you see like a puff of a puff of ash come off of it, and kind of permeate the immediate area around it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time any living creature within 5 feet of the zombie, so really not any of you, has to make a Constitution save against this ash puff. All right, and the Nothic
Is
is
it?
going.
I was gonna move, but is Tifa small enough for me to pick up and take with me?
I don't know how the rules around that work.
Pretty
I
small.
feel like you would have to have like used an action to be able to like pick her up and then move with her. So you only
Okay.
have your movement left.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, I'm really sorry, or like reach out to grab Tifa as I like move behind this pillar a little bit.
Yeah, I mean this puff of ash only has like a 5-foot radius, so it like gets on this aberration, but he passes his con save, so he's just kind of like covered in like this gross like soot and ash, but nothing else really happens. And it is now his turn. He that's the wrong thing. Again, learning curve here. He's gonna turn his rotting gaze to Tifa directly in front of him. So go ahead and give me a DC 12 con save.
I started rolling 1 dice and it didn't feel right, so I'm gonna switch die. Nope, that one didn't work. 7 plus 1 is 8.
No.
Right, yeah. So again, just like with Thebes, you see like this big green eye begin to glow. You feel like a chill inside of you. Your skin starts to crawl, and you are taking 16 points of necrotic damage.
Ow. 16.
And that is the end of its turn. It's looking very rough, y'all. It's got like black ooze like coming out from the spots where it was like hit with an arrow. paralyzed or hit with the frost magic. And it's just like barely clinging on, but it's still clinging on enough that it's determined to get you out of this room. And with that, its turn is over, and we are on to Tifa.
So she takes the hit from the necrotic damage. Her skin feels all crawly, and then she's just gonna like take a step back, and then she's gonna take a step forward, and she's got that little rock, and she's staring right at its eye, and she whips the little rock into the creature's eye, and behind the rock is a bunch of little mosquitoes following along too.
Nice.
And the D6 is for Bardic Inspiration. Is it a D6 or a D4? I don't remember. Okay. So 21 to hit.
Yep.
So it takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the magic stone and 1 point of piercing damage from my mosquitoes. So 6 total.
Yeah, so your pebble like hits it right in the middle of its eye, and it like brings its claws up and like lets out this like really gross sounding like screech, like and reaches up to cover its eyes, and as it like pulls its claws back away from its eye, that black goo is like on its claws, and it's like dripping out of its eyeball. And it's like blinking furiously, trying to refocus after being hit in the eyeball. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I'm just gonna leapfrog behind Kashara again.
Yes. I have my buddy.
Benji.
I am gonna pop out like from behind the column and thoroughly disgusted by this creature and its dripping eyeball. I'm going to make another attack with my longbow. Fuck. That's an 8.
That's gonna miss.
Okay, but now that it's next to the zombies, I can use my Ward Breaker ability to make a second attack against zombies.
And these things are still fairy fired also, so you have advantage on your attack rolls.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Reroll the die. Okay, much better. That's a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to take 9 points of damage.
That'll do it. That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Yeah, describe to us how you murder this thing.
Actually gonna roll to see if I hit the other zombie first, so that if I do, I can say.
Wait, hold on. My bad. Who are you hitting?
I was hitting the aberration.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And then I can also, because it like breaker lets me attack enemies that are like next to each other.
Gotcha. You're gonna.
So I can
try to
basically make a
hit them
second
as
attack.
well.
Yeah. And that's a 21 to hit the zombie.
Yeah, you hit the zombie. The one closest to you, or the one right in front of it?
The one right in front of it.
Okay.
That'll also take 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to like try and line it up so that basically I shoot one arrow like the zombie and it like bursts out of the zombie and into the aberration's eye.
I love it. That's really fucking gross. Yeah, this arrow goes straight through the zombie's chest, carrying like entrails with it as it comes out the other side and sticks itself right in the middle of this thing's eyeball and goes all the way through. And you can only see like the end of its arrow sticking out as this creature collapses onto the ground.
Benji like spits in the dirt and is just like disgusting.
And as this creature goes down, the zombies that it had summoned were being powered by its magic, so they basically disintegrate into a pile of ash. And they are also dead.
Oh, thank God. Mhm.
Spooky.
Yeah, hated that. Hated all that.
So you have. Nope, I was just gonna say you've successfully killed all of the baddies in this room, so you win.
Yeah, Kashar is running to those crates.
Right.
If it's still been under 10 minutes since I cast it, I think I might still have
Or
detect magic. It is concentration. I don't think I cast anything else that was concentration, but
up. Yeah, so as you're kind of rummaging through like the debris pushing away, like the broken pieces of wood and rope that were closing these crates, find a staff that you were looking for.
ooh. Yes.
It is this silver magical staff with like this really interesting dragon motif. And it is rumored to be able to control dragons. But with your detect magic, I'm gonna say that you still have it just because I want you to find this out. You'll where is it? Conjuration magic coming off of this staff.
Ooh. I will show that.
Give me an Arcana check, please, as you're picking up this staff and feeling its magic.
Okay.
Yeah, do it with advantage.
With advantage, that's 24, because otherwise that would have been bad.
Yeah. So with your knowledge of just like the different types of magic, the fact that you are getting conjuration magic off of the staff is a little bit confusing because that's not the type of magic that would be used to control another being. So you start to suspect that the rumors about this staff may have been exaggerated, and you're not entirely sure if the staff can actually control dragons. It definitely does something.
I'm gonna show it to Thebus and explain my guess. Kind of sigh. This is disappointing, but still magics. Even big mystery. Ooh. That is definitely tempting to Kashara, and she will try and use the staff.
Yeah, so being a wizard, you brandish this staff and you kind of like twirl it around a little bit and imbue your magic into it. And as it begins to glow, it like whatever direction you're pointing it in, it creates like an orb of light in that area. And as the light kind of loses its glow, in its place, you see a tiny
No.
little pseudo dragon.
So
No.
cute.
Look at baby.
And you learned that this staff, in fact, does not control dragons, but it is used to cast the Find Familiar spell. So you now have a pseudo dragon familiar.
I, as a person, am losing my mind.
I like, is Jasmine gonna be like jealous? Are they gonna be friends? Like, what's the vibe here?
I think Jasmine's definitely jealous, but Kashar is just like, oh my god, a tiny dragon.
It like
Jasmine's just
looks
happy.
at you. Yeah. Like turns its little head at you. It like flaps its little tiny wings. And kind of flies around you in circles a couple of times before settling onto your shoulder and like nuzzling into your hair.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you found the staff.
This was the staff that we're supposed to give to
This
someone.
is the staff that you were supposed to find. You can still give it to someone if you so choose, but you did already use it. That's not to say that somebody else can't also use it. But it's not going to do what they were thinking it was going to do. But you signed a contract. They still have to pay you.
We've liberated the dragon.
Do y'all want to take a look at what else you can find? There were other magical boxes in these crates. And there is another pile of crates over here on the other side. And like if this was, a campaign, it would be like, yeah, you get all these magical items. But you're not gonna be able to use them unless ... But yeah, I mostly just wanted y'all to find this other thing that I made that you didn't find upstairs because you didn't look for it hard enough. But I wanted to give you the diary. So I'll say you guys are kind of like just rifling through the rest of these crates and you find a pair of boots of elven kind. You find a cloak of billowing and a ring of fire detection amongst the magical items that were being stashed in this hoard of this Nothic. And in the mess of the shelves that was made, like when the creature like jumped off of it, you find a journal, a diary that belonged to a wizard. And I have shared it with you all. And there's 3 diary entries that outline, how this aberration came to be. So Eric Silvyr was a wizard who, with all of the best intentions in the world, wanted to become more powerful to protect his loved ones, but started delving into magics that were beyond his control and slowly began to be corrupted by this magic. I believe Nothics are like a creation of like Vecna. So he was like corrupted and subdued by this dark magic that he summoned on accident and slowly started to become this creature. And a Nothic is driven by this need to collect magic items. It doesn't remember anything of its former life, but it somewhere in its subconscious, it knows that there's something that it needs to fix about itself, and so it just like tries to collect as many magic items that it can in hopes that something will lift this curse. But yeah,
I think
you
that
did
makes Benji feel a little bit worse about shooting the thing in the eye through a zombie. So he'll rummage through his pack where some of his like weaver's wares are stored, and he'll cover this thing with like a little shroud.
Oh, that's very sweet. I would say you probably put it out of its misery. You know, it was not ever going to turn back into the human that once was, so you probably did it a favor.
Oh,
Well, now it's time to get paid. It's immediately like going from like, wow, that was disgusting, to like, oh, I sort of like, all right.
Yeah, so are you all go back up through the portal, up the stone stairs. You wave goodbye to your spider friends as you're exiting the tower.
someone made it out alive. We didn't kill everything.
Yeah. You didn't kill any of the spiders. The other one's asleep.
That's right.
And you make your way back through the woods, back to Winterfell, where you are not Winterfell. Fuck, that's the wrong name. Neverwinter. To turn in this magical staff that can definitely control dragons. What? You don't know. You just picked it up.
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
Kishara's like definitely like, I don't know if I'm gonna hand this one over.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at the money, but
you'll just be losing 200 gold, but
I'll figure something so we
yeah,
can get the money and keep it.
that's the real treasure. The little ferret that had been talking to you like bounces alongside you for a little bit as you're leaving, and says goodbye to Tifa.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, thanks, guys. That was really fun.
That was great.
I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a really fun little adventure.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
Yeah. I appreciate
I love a
everybody.
good dungeon run.
Yeah, I tried to make it as spooky as possible.